Hello and welcome to my first Stampin' Up Techniques video. Hope it's going to be the first of many. Today I'm going to show you a really simple technique called the chalkboard effect that you can achieve with your stamps and your inks. Very much inspired by this chalkboard here in the background that I got when I was lucky enough to go on an incentive trip with Stampin' Up to Vienna last year. So today's card uses one of our brand new Celebration stamp sets. This one is called Vintage Verses and contains 4 sentiment stamps. You can get this free along with a choice of 16 other products with every £45 you spend with me during the Celebration promotion, so contact me for more about that. I'm going to use the thanks stamp here, excuse me, and some basic black card that I've already cut to size. I'll be using the Versamark ink, which is a very sticky ink, and I'm going to apply plenty to the back of the stamp. And before I stamp, I'm going to use a Stampin' Up embossing buddy, which normally you'd use to clean your card to avoid getting fingerprints all over it when you're using this technique, but I'm being quite messy today and don't actually care how much powder I get all over the card. I'm going to stamp the image quite firmly in the centre of the card. It's quite difficult for you to see, it's a clear ink. And all I'm going to do is put over the top of that some of our Whisper White embossing powder. Quite a lot there, so I'm just going to chuck off the excess. And you can see I've made a little bit of a mess. Really easy to put right with this type of card because you don't actually mind little bits here and there. And then using the heat tool, just where it gets noisy, going to heat through. A tip here is if you heat underneath the card first and then the top, it stops the card going really curly. You don't need to move your heat tool around, you can just keep it still and you'll start to see the powder turning from sort of a grey to this lovely bright white. Okay, that's the noisy bit done. So that's now dry. Now, to sort of contrast that, if you use the Whisper White ink pad, which is a pigment ink, being a craft ink pad, and here I'm using our stamp set Artistic Etchings, and I'm using this little decorative stamp here, and I'm just going to lightly tap, because the Whisper White is a very soft ink pad, and I'm just going to stamp above the sentiment and below, just to create this effect. It's slightly, not quite as bright. You could leave it to dry, but I'm just going to heat set it for speed here. Now, with the Whisper White ink pad as well, if you like, you can get a little bit of tissue or your sponges, dab it on your ink pad, that's my technical term, and just blob a bit about on your card, just to give you a bit of a scuffed up look. If you wanted to, you could rub it in a bit more. No one has cleaned chalkboards once they've been used quite a few times. And it's really that simple. All I'm going to do is, using the Tombow multi-purpose adhesive, which is my absolute favourite Stampin' Up glue ever, I'm going to pop that onto a Whisper White card that I've already trimmed down. And again, I don't mind a bit of smudging here because it's all part of the overall chalkboard effect. And then a bit more Tombow on the back of that. And here I've got a crumb cake card base. This is your standard UK C6 size card, A6 even. Pop that on there. And there you go, very, very quick, very simple chalkboard technique card using the thanks stamp. Thank you for watching.